What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Pilots Club, a podcast all about the first episodes of television shows and the many reasons why they may or may not be worth a watch. Every month, we pick a different pilot episode to watch and then discuss it here on our show. We release these episodes first and foremost to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/the Whatnauts on our $3 tier and above. And then 2 years later, we release these episodes to a wider audience on a public feed. So if you want to catch up on 2 years worth of episodes, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is the place to do that. When we first made the Pilots Club, it was a little rough around the edges, so we wanted to polish it up a bit and repackage it, so to speak, with this new intro. And eventually you will stop hearing me doing this pre-recorded intro, and I will just start saying it as we record each episode. But until then and beyond, please enjoy the show and what it grows into. Welcome back to the Pilots Club, our Patreon exclusive podcast here at the Whatnauts. You guys know us. You're supporting us. You're giving us your money. I'm Kyle. That's Melissa. How are you all doing today? Back for season 2 of the Pilots Club. I still really enjoy this idea that you came up with. We came up with. I don't remember, but it was a good idea. Smart one. So we're back for some more. Melissa, we are starting this year off, this Pilots Club off, watching Birdgirl. The pilot to Birdgirl. Last year, I watched all of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. And so it was just kind of a natural thing to be like, let me at least check out the pilot.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law fits in with your sense of humor. I think Birdgirl fits in with some of your sensibilities. Where was this show on your radar for you? Was this something you were interested in checking out? Was it something you didn't really care for? Am I completely wrong?
No, I was interested in it. I have not done a 100% rewatch of Harvey Birdman like you have. This is a show I have fond memories of. I enjoy. I've gone back to. I hope to one day watch 100% of it.
It's really
I'd
not
heard
that
about
long
this
at all.
Yeah, they're only 15 minutes. I don't know how many of them they made, but it can't take that much time.
Yeah.
I'd heard about Birdgirl because I knew it was starring Paget Brewster, and I believe she's reprising the role she played in the original Harvey Birdman. And I just heard her on different podcasts talking about it, her friends plugging it for her. I'm mostly familiar with her from the Thrilling Adventure Hour audio drama podcast, one of my favorites. I think she's a tremendous vocal talent. In addition to her on-screen work and like Criminal Minds for who knows how many years. She's got a very interesting career. So I wanted to check this out. I liked the initial premise. I liked what the show came from. I'm like, well, I know we're in for an excellent lead role.
Yeah. Well, now having watched this, I have to say, I this one's in a weird place for me. I didn't necessarily like the pilot, but it didn't turn me off from the show, if that makes it. Like, I think the legacy of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, stands strong in my mind, which is, I feel like, a weird thing to say, because it's not like the greatest of cartoons out there or anything, but it's pretty clever, right? This I was a little confused. I felt a little disappointed. I wasn't super into the art style, but like I said, it didn't like dissuade me from continuing to watch this show. It could go to some interesting places. What about you? What did you think?
I like the art style. I love the movement of the show, particularly in like the first half where she's dashing around being Judy, being Birdgirl, being a lawyer and a superhero and like the CEO of this firm. There's so much kinetic movement. She just runs and jumps and flies all over the place. The camera's zipping along with her. I really like that momentum that the show has to be that visually fast with you.
Sure, yeah.
I like a lot of the character designs. You've got some really interesting contemporary outfit designs, variety of body shapes. I like the character designs in this.
For sure, yeah. I like I didn't think the artwork was bad, but I think what was so special to me about Harvey Birdman is that it was using those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons and like reusing the animation and cutting the characters out and using them that way. And there's something really clever about shows like that, or like what was the other one?
C-Lab 2021,
right? Yeah. Like there's something so creative about reusing those things and making something completely new. Whereas this, it at first glance felt like, oh, it's the same art style. Oh, but wait, it's digital. Like it's all that stuff. And then it started to kind of read to me more a little bit like Archer.
Yes.
It had those really thick lines for the like outlines of a character and stuff. And yeah, the artwork's not bad, but I'm wondering if they're gonna play with that same kind of concept, that there are these like older characters that they are referencing or paying homage to, or looking at things that maybe didn't really make sense in the show or stuff like that. This first one did not seem to really indicate that it would, but
there's no recognizable characters. I don't know if Birdgirl herself is from an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, or if she is just a Harvey Birdman invention of spinning off from old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Same thing with is it Meredith, who's her like mind taker friend?
Well, so there was, I think his name was like Mind Talk, right?
Yes, but him I remember.
Right, but I don't think he had any kind of like daughter or anything in Harvey Birdman, so I don't know if this is just like another one of the species, or if this is his kid or something else. Who knows?
Oh, but
they might just be trying to go for like vaguely similar artwork, vaguely similar characters and stuff like that, but making a whole new thing.
I did love Dog with Bucket Hat, which is not explicitly a Hanna-Barbera character, somebody from back in the Turner Library, but he is literally just like a basset hound wearing a little suit and a bucket hat, and then you're visually introduced to him a while before he mentions that his given name is literally Dog with Bucket Hat. He's great. He feels like I love that they've invented somebody who feels like they pulled him out of the 60s.
Yes. Yeah, that felt very much like an homage to those kinds of Hanna-Barbera characters. Or even, again, in Harvey Birdman, they had the elephant dude, I think. Or
Peter Potamus!
Yeah. I'm the one that watched it all last year, and I still don't remember who's who. But like that, it felt like another one of those kinds of characters, or like Secret Squirrel, right? Who has the trench coat and the hat. That felt really, really good. I liked that one a lot. I gonna say? So here's something that did not make sense to me. Maybe this was something I like skipped over at the end of Harvey Birdman or whatnot. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, works for Seven and Seven. It's Seven and Seven law firm.
Yeah.
But they're not a law firm in this show. There's something else entirely.
So the one piece of Harvey Birdman I've returned to multiple times is the episode that's just entirely the 7 and 7 employee training film. I love a fake training film.
That's a great one, yeah.
And I think in that they do mention that this is just one of the many things he does. He's sort of an acme. He does a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. So they have their like 7 and 7 law firm. They have their 7 and 7 Target knockoff stores. They
Yeah.
have their, like, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I do
Yeah,
like
so
that
then-
his name was Phil Kin Sebin, and he named his daughter Judy Kin Sebin.
But yeah, that is the premise, is that his daughter, Jody, who he did not know was Birdgirl, and in fact would often hit on Birdgirl. He says he left no kind of, hey, once I'm gone, this will be your next CEO. If anything ever happens to me, this is the one who will take over.
No, he did. He did.
Well,
and he named Birdgirl, and Judy's it's still her, but she's upset that her dad did not name her personally.
They had to get a impersonator in to say that. They had to get a Phil Ken 7 impersonator along with dog with bucket hat to decide that Birdgirl should be the next one, the next CEO. And so she's trying to navigate that space of, like, how do I be Judy and Birdgirl and a CEO at the same time?
This is the much more successful version of that Wonder Woman pilot.
Right? Yeah. And I think what's interesting is they give themselves a problem that they then kind of solve within the pilot. It's almost too much for Judy to take, to have all three of these different hats to wear, so to speak. So she works it out so that Birdgirl then nominates Judy to be the next successor. So she does not have to be in costume, right, as Birdgirl doing her job, because then she thinks she has to do, like, superheroics in the office and stuff, and that's just not going well at all. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I specifically latched on to any one thing that I'm like, I want to know more about that.
I had a really fun time. First off, I love the theme song. I think the music in this is cool. I love the vocal performances. They do those interesting visual things, like you mentioned her superheroing her way through the office, and the way they portray this is you're looking at, like, a blueprint, like cross-section of the office, and all in blueprint form. She's just running from level to level, like throwing things, catching stuff on fire. Yeah. So I believe at one point she tries to use a bomb to fix a printer.
Yeah. Yeah, they do some interesting stuff like that. I guess the one thing that I did kind of like from this is that there is another employee who's trying to scheme his way to the top. Yeah. Right? This is the, like, evil arch nemesis character, but he's from within, like, he's on the inside. Like, it's not the, like, evil Mentok mind judge thing in the courtroom. It's not what's his name, like something the extreme or the exterminator or something. I forget the guy's name, who's also who wants to be an arch of Birdman, but Birdman, like, really just doesn't care and doesn't take him seriously, right? So it's neat that they have, like, an arch type character within the company, and that he is wanting to work his way up and be like, hey, my ideas are better. I can make us more money. I can do all that stuff. And he's trying to do his own thing there, which he did kind of get turned into a poop pellet, I think, right? At the end there. So he might not be back, but who knows?
He invents a toilet that you poop in facing the tank, which is weird. You poop in it, and then your poop turns into this compressed fertilizer pellet, so it goes immediately back to the farm that grew your food. And he brings out that hot model to display the toilet and poop in front of the boardroom.
He's sitting there.
Poor fella.
It's a really funny, interesting idea. It feels like one of those like infomercial things that you would see, because it is like it's a toilet seat that you sit down on. It looks like you sit on it backwards, but it's just that the tank also doubles as like a counter for you to put like your meal on.
Yeah, you are served a meal there
on that. Yeah, it's just what goes in comes right out. And it's so dumb, but I feel like it's the stupid, like I like to see this different aspect of the company, is I guess something else I can say. I wish it would carry out to other shows that have been around. Like I don't know if they're really going with the Hanna-Barbera licenses, right? Of like, oh, let's get Ace Ventura, or not Ace Ventura, what's his name? Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
His name. You know, Ace Ventura, Johnny Quest.
You went to the Venture Brothers. You took a wrong turn. You got to turn back.
Right. Yeah. But like, I would love to see them somehow incorporate other cartoons, or at least do knockoffs of them. So we recognize that, like, oh, that's Dexter and his sister Dee Dee. But they couldn't actually get Dexter and Dee Dee. They got a knockoff one, but it's like,
I would love the update where instead of this like 2001 cartoon riffing off 60s and 70s stuff, do it now and you're riffing off of the 90s like cartoon stuff. Yeah. I want to see her go up against Edward and Edward law firm.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But stuff like that, or at least to see the products that they are making, like, are very obviously for some kind of cartoon character that we would recognize, or something like that. Just little small simple homages to all of these cartoon characters, because that's, I think, what made Harvey Birdman so special, is incorporating all of these kind of like forgotten cartoons. Some of them were forgotten, but just all of these older cartoon characters, and just coming up with the most ridiculous plots. A custody battle for Johnny Quest between his two uncles, right? Like
it's his father and his bodyguard Race Bannon, him and Haji. Don't forget Haji.
Yeah, just like that. Like that was clever, and I would love to see this show dip into that kind of cleverness there. But we'll see. I think I might end up watching this show at some point on my own sometime this year. Each season is only 6 episodes, and there's 2 seasons out right now, I believe. So pretty short stuff. So there you go. I don't know if I have too much else to say. Do you have something else that you wanted to add or throw in there?
No, I am here looking up the video for my pitch for our next pilot.
Ah, okay.
So we have seen What If a Bird Was a Lawyer. Now it is time for What If a Dog Was a Cop. This has been on my list to do since the initiation of the Pilots Club. I'm forcing you to watch Puchinsky. This is a pilot from 1990. I believe it aired on television. I want to say it did. Or it got leaked, mysteriously leaked to the public. This thing never went to series. It is about Peter Boyle plays a detective killed in the line of duty, and then he is reincarnated as a wisecracking bulldog. And it's this like rubber puppet most of the time. And I've seen like the commercial for Puchinsky, or like the promo video the studio like gave to the network, like, huh? How many episodes do you want of Puchinsky? And it's this weird looking rubber puppet staring in a mirror, and you've got the true acting talent of Peter Boyle saying, "Look at me, I've become a dog." So now we shall watch Puchinsky. I just sent you the link. I threw that in the review show channel.
Perfect. I was just going to ask if it was on like YouTube or something.
Indeed.
Like that. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's Pilots Club, start of 2023, season 2 of the Pilots Club. But yeah, good stuff. We'll be back next month for Puchinsky. We will see you all then. And once again, thank you for supporting us.
Thank you.
Bye.